We're going to use the Team Land in New York City site we just created to learn about startup tasks for a site. Each new team site has this list of promoted links labeled Get Started with Your Site, and if you want them gone, you just click Remove This, and we blow this whole thing right off the page. But we're not going to do that. We're going to use it because this actually is a fast way to get started. It's a summary list of tasks that you will want to do to create a site, to style it, to add libraries, lists, and other apps, and to share it when you're all done. We're going to work through this list not in order. We're not going to share the site first. We're actually going to begin over here with Your Site, Your Brand. Add a logo and description to the site. Now, we already have a logo. If you look in the upper left-hand corner of the page, the Land and Hotel, you might wonder where that came from. Well, that came to us from the parent site. If I wanted to have a different logo, if the New York City Landon had a different logo, then I could change the logo and replace the Land and Hotel logo that is there now. Let's click Your Site, Your Brand, and notice that we have the title. We didn't enter a description. We could do that now. And next we have our logo. This particular logo is already stored on the site. If I wanted to add another logo, I could add it from my computer, or I could add it from somewhere in SharePoint. And this would let us look through all the different logos we have, working through our site assets and so on. But we're going to keep this logo. Here's our website address. That's our first page. Now let's address our style. This is the look of the site. And again, your organization may have some very specific templates that they want you to use. It's possible when you come into this gallery, there are only 4 templates, and they are labeled regional intranet, local hotel intranet, and so on. These are the templates that we are provided with out of the box. The default template is actually the one we're using, and it is called Office. There are versions of this then with other colors, with the orange family, the green family, and the black and white or gray family. Then there are these templates, but with images in the background. I will be honest with you, there's only one of these that I like at all. Many of them are very dark, and while that's not a bad thing if you're looking directly at the screen, it's actually pretty grisly when they're projected. For example, lime and nature. I find that this sea monster makes it really hard to look at the page. So these are just some choices, clearly all very different choices. I'm going to choose gray, and it shows me what my site would look like in gray. I can also drop an image in the background, and that's a pretty slick thing to be able to do. So if I change the image, it's wondering what image I would like. I'm going to go pick up an image. So here are some images from the hotel, including the hotel reception image, a Los Angeles image. That's one of our New York images. So let's open that. I can choose a destination folder. Yes, we'll always allow a pop-up here. And I could choose to put all these images in specific folders. If I don't do anything else, they will find their way to Site Assets though, and that's fine with me as well. Notice then, here's my image, and it is now the background image on this page. What else can I change? I can choose different colors. For example, this palette is primarily dark teal with white and turquoise. That's not easy to look at. Here's black. I tend to like the ones that are lighter color background because they're easier to look at. A little grisly. If we don't change it, it's this gray, which is nice. What else do we have? We have a site layout. There are 2. The Seattle site layout is the site layout we see here, and it features a quick launch on the left and top nav on the top. If I choose Oslo, there is no quick launch, and the items that would have been on the quick launch are now on the top nav. Notice first menu item, second, and so on. And here, all of our navigation is on the top. Again, your organization should have a navigation standard that would help guide your decision making here. And finally, you get 2 fonts. The fonts here are Sego User Interface Lite and Sego User Interface. If I switch to something like Blueprint, that's what it looks like. And most organizations have a standard for the fonts that are being used so that everybody is using similar fonts. Once I've made the changes on this page, I can click Try It Out to get a preview of my actual site and what it will look like. There's no way to accept these changes without trying them out first. Here's our site. I like this. I might like it better if it didn't have this image in the background. If I decide I don't like it, we can click on No, Not Quite There and remove the image. Or I can say, yeah, this is great. I'm going to keep this. And I'm going to do the latter and keep this nice piece of branding for our site. So we know where to add a logo if we'd like one, and we have styled our site using the built-in style gallery. This New York City site now looks different than the parent site, the North American Intranet, and it looks different than our San Francisco site. They look like they're related. They share some common attributes, common functionality, common navigation. But someone who used both of these sites would be able to tell very quickly which site they were on. If we want to change this later, we can always come back and either click What's Your Style, Your Site, Your Brand, or if we have removed the Get Started with Your Site links, the style settings are available here under Change the Look, and the Your Site, Your Brand settings would be found under Site Settings.